You call me a saint, but you know I'm a stranger, all willing and able to do what you want. You think I'm a thing.
Hey, good morning, guys. Smarter Options here. All right, let's start with the VIX. So we've had a gap up on VIX. Kind of showed you guys last week. We had a bullish div forming. The thing gets to be is, when is the bullish div going to play out, right? So that's what we're going to start working on here a little bit more is when to take entries and when to believe it's real and not real. So here we had a bullish div setting up to right here, for example. You can see this is based on, this is a slow stow bullish div. We're pushing really low here, but I guess that's not even really a bullish div. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It wasn't descending at the same rate. Okay, so, but we came up here. Yellow would be a 9 EMA, red would be a 20 EMA. I'd say wait for the candle to close above the 20 EMA would be more of a what's real. Okay, 9 EMA can give you a warning, but 20 EMA is going to be more realistic to if it's going to hold or not, or if it's going to really go. So you can see here it never closed really above the 20 EMA, and we went low, and then the bullish div or the div pushed lower. But now we're getting a gap up. Something to be aware here, though, is that even though we have got a camera or a closed candle above the 9 and 20 EMA, what's likely going to happen here, right, is we need a fill. So as I've shown you guys, the fills have usually been happening in the next day or two after the gaps are formed, right? So here's took a couple days. That filled almost same day, finished filling the next day. That was one day. So sometime the next day or two, right? I mean, so really here, if this pushes any higher, it would be, or even at open, you could take a starter position of a SPY call, because most likely we're going to go green when we fill this gap. So I'd be looking at SPY calls for open, at least for a starter position. Now, if this pushes any higher, you might have to average down, or you could wait until this closes below the 20 EMA and then take a call, like we just talked about, when to take calls. Let's go look at MES and MNQ. Let's just see if we have any divs forming. On the 1 hour, nothing too crazy here. Lower lows. Here was a bearish div, right? Lower high with a higher high. Once it closed below that 20 EMA, that red line, within 3 hours, it was dropping. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. That's when to take a play. If you're looking at the hour chart, but the important thing is look for a div, right? So here we were pushing on, the price was kind of moving down lower here, but the MACD was moving up. We did close below, but it got instantly rebounded, and that's one that didn't work out right. I guess that's not really a true div though, because here was your high, and it was a lower high with the lower high also. So it was still trending down a little bit. That would have been a good entry. I said you want strong, so like right here, right? Price was obviously pushing up while trending downwards. As soon as we close below, that's a good example. Same thing here. Here's a bearish div. If you would have waited for a close below the 9 or the 20, either way, you would have done well on that one. So that's what we're going to start looking for. So let's go look at some stocks. Let's go look at Apple. So Apple on the 15-minute chart, it keeps, and sometimes I go down to lower time frames, but it keeps struggling here. It keeps pushing below. We've had a bullish div setting up. I mean, you can see here, or bearish div setting up. Same thing here. We're getting higher highs, but this is pushing lower. This looks like this is going to give out at any time. But we took a put on Apple. That's why. Okay, if we go to the 1 hour though, we probably took it a little early. I mean, really, we need to close below 145.20 to verify that we're in a drop pattern. So like here, and don't get me wrong, you're going to miss some. Okay, I mean, you missed some movement here, but by waiting for confirmation to close below that 20 EMA, you had very little loss on your option. Okay, here's one. Let's see here. But this also isn't really that strong. That's not really a. I mean, this is acting appropriately. This was a bearish div on the slow stow. Okay, on the slow stow charts, which is another momentum indicator. I like that, and I like MACD. But so here you can see that was a bearish div, and as soon as you close below that 20 EMA, or you went down further, and within a couple of days you were 139 down to a low of 133, a $6 drop on Apple in a couple of days. That's not bad. Let's get AMD. AMD had a bullish div setting up here, right? If you would have waited till it cleared that, probably would have done a little better on that one. That was a dark night call, but there's another instance where you could have waited for a close above the 9. 9 if you want to get risky and get better positions, right? But really 20 if you want to make sure. Let's go look at Boeing. You guys know I keep staying in this, but this is one where it keeps trying to come back up. I think when this falls, it's going to fall pretty good. But it keeps trying to close below the 20 EMA, and it keeps gapping up. So we'll see what happens here this week, but I'm looking for this to have a nice big drop. BABA. Okay, we did get a close below the 20 EMA just barely on Friday. And we're hovering a little bit, but that was good signs of a stronger drop coming. You can see that we had a bullish div set up on the MACD, or bearish div set up on the MACD. Higher highs, lower highs. All right. So looking for that'll be good at open probably, but looking for it to drop further. Chewy. I think I can't remember where we took that put at. It was somewhere down back a little ways ago, but it reversed, and it keeps trying to fail here. But once again, this is a bearish div setup. I have held that play. Just waiting to average down. See how it goes this week. If there's anything you guys want to see, please go ahead and holler at me. FDX, I'm still thinking this is going to come down nice. We gapped up on earnings. It broke, came down lower. But now we've come back up and retesting. But once again, we've got really bearish div setting up here on the slow stow. Okay, so we just want to see that give out, that support give out. Look at Google. Same thing really, right? I mean, we had a bullish div here. We had a higher low or a lower low from here to here, similar low, lower low, and then a much higher low. So for the bullish div, it cleared the 20 EMA, and it's been going up ever since. Microsoft, we've been building into this pattern. Here we got a higher high with a lower high. Still waiting for this to come down, but if it breaks out, I don't think it's going to break out, but if it does, it'll start taking everything. It'll just start taking the SPY up. So let me see. Netflix. I don't see really any divs forming here. Here's a div. That was a bearish div right there. Okay. Might see Netflix come back down. We're opening below the 20 EMA here. See if that holds. Remember, we want to see close below the 20 EMA, so we haven't had that quite yet. Nvidia. Unfortunately, I was looking for this to keep going up, but we do have a bearish div setting up here. If we get a close below the 20 EMA, that might be a bad sign, so we'll have to keep an eye on this one. Let's see here, Tesla. So kind of same thing here, right? We had a bullish div setting up. All right, we had a bullish div setting over here. We cleared that 9 and 20 EMA, and ever since then we've been rocketing up. Here was a bearish div. I'm just giving you guys some examples so you guys can kind of see what I'm looking at here when I'm talking about the 20 EMA and like when to enter. Here we had a bearish div. Right, we're trending lower highs, but we're getting higher highs. As soon as we failed that 20 EMA, it was downhill until a bullish div started to set up. Okay, and now we have a bearish div setting up. Here we are trending higher, but getting same highs. So what we'll be waiting for here is, again, I would wait for either a close below the 20 EMA or the 9 or the 20 EMA, and then possibly take a put. Walmart. Walmart's been trending up. Here we are getting a slight bullet or bearish div. If it closes below the 20 EMA, it's probably going lower. But here's a couple, right, where it's tried to close and it gaps up the next day. So guys, this isn't foolproof. Nothing is. If it was foolproof, we would have gains every day. It's just best educated guess. Let's see here. Fairly bullish here. Trending down slightly, but higher low. We broke above that 20 EMA, and we, even if you had gotten in right here at 115, it hit 120, 124, 125 at the top. Okay, and now we have a bearish div setting up here. We're getting higher highs. We were, and meanwhile we were starting to trend downward there. Same thing on the slow stow, right? Lower highs, higher highs. If we stay below that 20 EMA, that'd probably be a good put to take. Write that down. All right, guys. Only a couple of you guys on here this morning, so I'm not going to sit here and dwell too much longer. If you guys are charting out yourselves, just practice that. Look at some different stocks, look at different charts. Like I said, I really like Slow Stow and MACD. Well, I haven't used Slow Stow in a while, but I do like this Slow Stow also. And then MACD, of course, is one of my favorites. Just trying to show you guys, we're just going to start working on trying to get some better entries so we don't have to average down. And so I got kind of clobbered that last round of calls I did. I took them too early. So just working on better entries. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys right now. If you guys have any questions, hit me up in chat.